picture yourself in a frozen foxhole somewhere along the Ardennes forest in December 1944. The temperature has plummeted to 20 degrees below zero. Snow falls in thick curtains, muffling the distant thunder of artillery. You have no sleeping bag, no tent, no modern gear. What you do have is wool, ingenuity, and the will to see another dawn. This is the reality thousands of soldiers faced during World War II, and their survival techniques represent some of the most remarkable fieldcraft ever practiced under the harshest conditions imaginable. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on these forgotten methods, revealing how men endured killing cold with nothing but what they carried on their backs. The foundation of cold weather survival for World War II soldiers wasn't technology. It was understanding wool. Unlike cotton, which becomes a death sentence when wet, wool retains warmth even when soaked through. Soldiers wore it against their skin in the form of long underwear, then added wool shirts, wool trousers, and finally the heavy greatcoat that became both uniform and bedroll. On the Eastern Front, Soviet soldiers mastered the art of the quilted telogryka jacket, stuffed with cotton batting and worn under their overcoats, creating dead airspace that trapped precious body heat. German soldiers, unprepared for the first Russian winter, learned the hard way that fashion meant nothing when your fingers turned black with frostbite. They scavenged Russian felt boots and quilted garments from the dead, discarding their polished leather boots that conducted coal-like iron pipes. The lesson was brutal but clear. Survival belonged to those who understood insulation through layers, not those who looked sharpest on parade. When night fell and temperatures dropped into lethal territory, soldiers employed the oldest survival technique known to humanity. They pressed together. In foxholes barely wide enough for two men, soldiers would face each other, pulling their greatcoats over both bodies to create a cocoon of shared heat. The soldier on the outside would rotate positions with his companion every hour, ensuring neither man bore the full brunt of the wind. This wasn't comfort. It was calculated survival. Men who tried to sleep alone often never woke up. In deeper dugouts, entire squads would layer themselves like cordwood, each man's body heat contributing to a collective warmth that meant the difference between frozen limbs and functional fingers come morning. The intimacy was absolute, the trust complete. Your foxhole partner wasn't just a comrade. He was your life support system in human form. The soldiers who survived winter warfare understood that the earth itself was their greatest ally. While, Hollywood shows troops huddled in shallow scrapes, the reality was far more sophisticated. Experienced infantrymen dug down 4 to 6 feet, creating dugouts with perpendicular sleeping chambers carved into the frozen soil. These underground rooms, roofed with logs scavenged from shattered forests and insulated with pine boughs and captured parachute silk, offered protection not just from shrapnel but from the murderous wind that killed as surely as any bullet. Soviet troops, drawing on centuries of Russian winter wisdom, built zemlyanki, elaborate earth shelters with small wood-burning stoves vented through improvised chimneys. The goal wasn't warmth in any comfortable sense, but rather maintaining temperatures just above freezing enough to prevent, hypothermia while men slept in shifts. American soldiers in the Hurtgen forest learned to roof their positions with salvaged doors and sheet metal, and then, they'd pile snow on top for insulation. This clever setup actually created structures that could maintain a temperature difference of about 20 degrees from the killing cold outside. These techniques weren't just survival methods, they were in fact a testament to human adaptability when civilization's comforts completely strip away. Today, as we pack our goose-down sleeping bags and insulated tents, it's worth remembering that our grandfathers endured months of winter warfare with nothing but wool, dirt, and brotherhood. Their lessons honestly echo into our present. Understand your materials, master layering, respect shelter construction, and never underestimate the power of human connection in desperate times. These aren't just historical footnotes, they're survival principles that remain valid whether you're in the Ardennes or the backcountry. If this deep dive into wartime fieldcraft has sparked something in you, do consider subscribing to Fieldcraft Chronicles. Share this with anyone who values the hard-won wisdom of those who came before us. History isn't just stories. It's a survival manual written in sacrifice and ingenuity.